Welcome to the MLMsuccess.com podcast, the show designed to return the network marketing industry to its roots of personal growth, leadership development, and wisdom of the ages success principles. We share with you real success stories from real people that we hope will inspire and encourage you personally and help you progress forward in your business and your life. We believe if you build people, people will build the business. Now here is your host, who has been called the number one mind in network marketing, the MLM prophet, network marketing virtual mentor, and a host of other names that we will not mention because this is a family show. Frankly, he's just a small town guy that figured out that the real product in network marketing is people. Dale Calvert.
Hey, this is Dale Calvert. I'd like to welcome you to this session of the MLM Success podcast. I appreciate you being with us. All episodes of this podcast are available online at MLMsuccess.com. If you haven't checked out that website, probably be very valuable for you to go check it out when you get a chance. Appreciate you being here today. I'm going to give you a formula. I'm going to give you concepts, ideas that will help you 10 times your network marketing income. That's the title of this session, how to 10 times your network marketing income. We get a lot of emails and Ask Dale questions, and we're going to be taking down the Ask Dales pretty soon this year, but it's served us well, hopefully served you well. Also, we have many different questionnaires that we constantly surveying customers and clients and members, and just trying to get a pulse for how we can help you the most. So we appreciate your feedback. This is an email that we got, and I think it's pretty common, this story, and I hope it really speaks to you guys. It's from Cecilia, and she said, Dale, I have been with an essential oil company for 4 years. My 1099 was a little over $16,000 last year, so with the tax deductions I'm receiving, I'm doing okay, but nowhere near where I expect it to be. I'm not earning the type of income that I'd hoped. I had never been in network marketing before, but had been in sales. All my income is basically coming from customers. What am I doing wrong? In other words, why don't I have more team members? Our team members. She goes on, I've seen so many people come in and blow up their business, but ironically, most of them seem to be gone in a couple of years. What am I missing, and how can I take my business from $16,000 to $160,000 realistically? There seems to be an overabundance of contradictory training in the market and within our own company. I'm confused and need clarification. And this is from Cecilia Plant. I don't think I've ever met Cecilia, but I do get these type of emails quite often. And my vision, and see, I don't know Cecilia, never talked to Cecilia, but my vision when I get these type of emails, these are just good, solid people that are workers that have, accomplished more than most people ever will, and frustrated and confused and need clarification. And I sincerely, this is a very, very hard, broad subject to try to tackle, but I know there's people listening to this podcast that need some direction along these lines, that the story I just read could be your story, maybe with a different company or a different product or different time frame. But basically, these people, like Cecilia, in my opinion, are the life and blood of the network marketing profession. Life and blood of the network marketing profession, the most critical people in the profession today. I just believe it, because obviously she has some credibility. She's willing to go to work. And it's, how do you go from 16,000 to 160,000? So I'm going to share some information with you that I hope will be beneficial to all of you. But just let me say this to Cecilia. Cecilia, we have your email, and we're going to put you on my call calendar where we can spend 20 minutes on the phone together, because I really need more clarification. I need a better feel. I can't give direction like this to an individual without having a better understanding of a little bit more about you and your background. And I'll be honest, I mean, you might just be a bull in the china closet distributor that goes into the market every day and just finds new product users. I don't know what your daily method of operation is. You could be just a real high credibility person in your local market, and people believe you and have bought your oils because of they believe you and they love the product. You might be someone with great online or SEO skills, or you're great in front of the camera through social media. I mean, I don't know, but I want to find out. So what we're going to do, and I rarely would do this, but I just felt like it would be a good move. And what I'm considering is doing some sessions like this and recording them and then making them available for everyone. I don't know if that's the best move, because I think it'll probably guard people and they might not open up and really give me the insights that I need to really help them individually, but I'm considering it. I obviously wouldn't do it without their permission. But let me just give some generic thoughts for people that kind of see themselves in Cecilia. Is that it? Yeah, Cecilia. And again, Cecilia, you will be getting an email from us, and no charge or anything. I just want to do one session because I feel like it's the right thing to do under the circumstances, just to learn more. So let me just go from a generic standpoint. I believe that if this is your situation, or you find yourself in a similar situation, and you think, Dale, I want to 10 times my income. You know, I made $22,000 last year. I want to go to $200,000. You know, Dale, I made $9,000 last year. If I could get that to $90,000, I could quit my job. Life would be phenomenal. I've been here 4 years. I'm at $9,000. Yeah, I saved, $20,000 on my taxes last year because of my home-based tax deductions, but I want to do better. I got to move forward. I feel like I'm stuck. So here's what I'm just going to say, and this is all real generic. Don't get upset with what I say, because again, I don't know anybody listening to this. I don't know your situation. I have no idea who you are, what you've been doing, how hard you've been working. I have none whatsoever. So this is very, very generic. But I will tell you that the most important skill set, without question, for entrepreneurs, and especially those in the network marketing business model, but really all entrepreneurs, the most important entrepreneurial trait moving forward from this point in time in history is focus. Focus. The most important entrepreneurial trait from this point in time in history is the ability to focus. Because we live in a world where we've got powerful computers we're carrying around with us in our pocket, and daily, people are trying to get our attention. And you've got to be real careful who you give your attention to. Real careful. And that's why I so appreciate those of you that listen and give us feedback and are participating, because I don't take that for granted. I don't take the fact. There's all kinds of podcasts you could be listening to. You could be watching something on Netflix right now, or doing 1,000 different things. You're listening to me. A lot of you I know are listening to me while you're driving to or from your job, or doing other activities, working in the garden, or whatever you're doing. But I appreciate you listening, and I don't take that for granted. And I will tell you, the most important entrepreneurial trait I sincerely believe moving forward from this point in history on is the ability to focus. I really was talking with my wife about this last night. I am uncertain that if I joined a network marketing organization today, based upon my personality and my desire to obtain knowledge and wisdom, that I would have made it if I had joined network marketing today. I was so fortunate to have joined at a time when there was not all the distractions in the world that there are today. I read recently that average person sees 5,000 different ads per day. I mean, you can't go to the gas station without them, showing you some video. It's just disrupting our whole train of thought. And I've learned, and it's been difficult, but over the last few years especially, I've really learned how to focus and eliminate all distractions and eliminate all fluff and not give 1 ounce of my energy listening to somebody that I don't respect or that has never done what we're doing in whatever business we're working on at the time. So I've learned this. I'm not telling you to do something that I haven't focused on every single day, because it's really important. So that's the first thing I would say to all of you is be careful of the time, energy, effort, and attention that you have, because most people waste so much time with useless chatter. So the first thing would be focus. The second thing, and this is a generic answer to anybody that feels like they're in this situation, and I don't mean to be rude or crude, but I would say congratulations for achieving what you've achieved, because in most businesses, all businesses, the start stops most people. The start stops most people in most businesses. I don't care if they just got their real estate license and they're going to be a realtor or whatever, the start stops most people. So congratulations, because it didn't stop you. And the fact that you've been around the company for 4 years and you've got quality products and your income is at $16,000, it's the only person that is responsible for that. And if it's not good enough for you, is you. Personal responsibility. And I applaud you for taking the time to send this email, Cecilia, because you have to feel that at some level or you would have never sent the email. And most people would rather just fake themselves and as many people around them out as they can, instead of saying, this is where I am. It's not good enough for me. I want to go to the next level. I'm confused by all the information in the marketplace. I need clarification. I so appreciate the fact that anybody in today's world where everybody's worrying about what somebody else thinks has the guts to send the email, because you can move forward from where you are because of what you've already accomplished. See, you've already accomplished more than 99% of the people that ever join a network marketing organization. Now, I will say that again because it's important that you hear that, you accept that, and you're proud of that. You've accomplished more than 99% of the people that ever join a network marketing organization. Now, the next thing I would want you to think about, and Cecilia, before we talk, I hope you listen to this podcast, and I'll make sure that we send you an email. We'll let you know it's up. And you're probably listening anyway, hopefully. And again, see, I don't know. We checked. You're not a member of the training club, which you should be. I feel like you're somebody that just found this podcast and just decided to send an email. And that's fine because we get those every week. And that's good. But here's the thing I would ask you is, would it be okay to go from 16,000 to 160,000, which you said what you wanted to accomplish? Would it be okay if it took 3 to 5 years to do that? And that would be the first go out. That's the first thing I would ask. Would it be okay to take 3 to 5 years to do that? Because it's not going to happen in the next month or the next year, more than likely. It's just not, for multiple reasons. Is it possible to happen for you within 3 to 5? I believe it is. I believe it is, because obviously you've got something going on to get to 16,000. So it's just the elimination of a lot of stuff that you're probably doing. And then it's, but the work ethic is probably there. Okay, if the work ethic's not there, there's nothing I or anybody else can do. There's probably going to be some mindset training and some things that we're going to have to do to unlearn, probably. But I can, and again, I'm not taking on any personal clients at the time, so I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about I can steer you to the right podcasts, recorded webinars. There's some things I can do that will really help. So I would ask, would going from 16,000 to 160,000 in the next 3 to 5 years, would that be okay? The next thing I would ask you is, right now, who is your mentor? My guess is that you have none, or you may have the wrong one. So that's what I would ask. And these are the questions that I would ask. And as I'm asking them, again, I'm talking to Cecilia, but I'm really talking to everybody listening to this podcast, because the quality of our life many times is the quality of questions that we ask ourselves and then answer them truthfully. So who is your mentor? And then I would say, tell me about the people that you've had in your business that said they wanted to do the business but have flamed out. But they joined and they were excited. They wanted to join you and they wanted to be part of your team, and they flamed out. My guess is most of them never really got started. That's ultimately on them, but it's also something that you can refine. And again, I feel like I'm giving, but they never got started, and the rest of them were ignorance on fire, got started, went into the marketplace and rode for about 90 days or so. And then they just lost all their steam. And then they came back to you with excuses about, my kids and soccer practice, and, this is getting ready to happen and that's getting ready to happen, and we're going on vacation and so forth and so on. But I'm going to be back, and you've been waiting for some of them you said you've been around 4 years, so you've been waiting for some of them for 4 years to come back. Okay, those are the two likely scenarios. And what I want to tell you is, you can, if you know that's going to happen, and it's going to happen the majority of the time, then we can, there's things that you can do to eliminate a lot of that, and to have a specific launch process to help people get launched in their business, and understand most people are going to hit a slump in their first 90 days, and what you as a leader specifically do when that happens, because a slump is nothing more than an excuse. I don't care what people say, well, kids practice, vacation, well, you know what? There's a lot of people that are building thriving, growing organizations that kids are involved in soccer or whatever. It's excuse. It's about priorities. It's about reasons, really. Why are they doing it? And again, that would be the first thing I would ask. Do you know why they were doing it to begin with? So again, I'm not going to go. I can't get into much detail. I'm just trying to give you guys some things to think about that are listening. And I'd ask, tell me why they were building their business, the people that you had that were no longer active. And then, I would really want to try to look behind the curtain of the people that have come and gone. And then the other thing I would tell you is, when I say look behind the curtain of people that have come and gone, I'm not talking about in your specific organization. I'm talking about in your company, because you've seen a lot. You said something about a lot of people have come in, blew it up, and then they left the company. So it's looking behind the curtain and understand that there's multiple people that's what they do in this profession. They come in, they have followers, not future leaders, followers that follow them to the next greatest thing where everybody's going to get rich. They collect all their upfront cash bonuses, and And, then the whole process starts over again and over again and over again. So we can look behind the curtain and help give you some clarification on why that does happen. It's no real reflection probably on your company or your product. It's just kind of the way a lot of people choose to play this game in today's environment. So the main thing I would say is you never compare yourselves with anybody other than yourself. We always say work harder on yourself than you do in your business. And I believe that. So you can't get distracted by people who join and don't do anything, or people that join your company and blow it up and then they're gone to another company and then another company and another company. And you need real clarification on that. There's some articles and some things that I can send you, because unfortunately that's just kind of the way a lot of people, again, play this game in today's marketing world. The next thing I would ask is, how are you recruiting? How are you creating leads for your business? Are these people that joined you because of the product or joined you because of the business? And do you have distinctions there? When you sit down with somebody, are you showing them the business and the product at the same time? Are you just talking to them about becoming a customer, or talking to them about the opportunity? Because I think that can make a huge difference. What your play one is for your product, what your play one is for your business. I would ask you, do you have a specific system to introduce customers to your opportunity? What I call a retail to recruit system. Do you have that flow, that system in place right now? Like they join as a customer, and on month 1 you do this, this, and this. On month 2 you do this and this. And the beginning of month 3 you expose them to the business. Do you have that specific flow in place? Because that would help you tremendously if you don't. And again, are you just sitting down and showing them everything? Are they exposing them to everything at the same time, and say, help them decide if they want to do a business or if they want to be a product user? I would ask you, what is your specific launch process with a new distributor? If they say, I want to do the business, what is the process to help them get their business launched? What are you teaching them to do to launch their business? Because that must be very refined. It's very refined. Network marketing has become a culture where, you join a company and then you go talk to your people. What the heck does that mean? And that's the mentality that we have as a profession, and it's confusing to people that have never been in the profession before. As you said, you haven't. You've never been in network marketing before, been with this company 4 years, but you have to understand we're in a culture in this profession where really all the industry as a whole has been doing the last 15, 20 years is recruiting each other from deal to deal to deal. And that's probably clearer the longer you've been involved. And if your people, a lot have never been involved in the profession before, then how do you take someone that's never been involved in the profession and doesn't have quote unquote people, and how do you help them get their business launched? So that's something that we would have to take a real serious look at. I would ask you, what's your onboarding and retail to recruit system with your new customers, which we kind of touched on earlier. I would ask you, what is your play one when you're exposing people to the business opportunity? Then what is your play two? So play one generally creates curiosity. Play two is letting them see the comp plan, the whole story, how the money's made. And then after play two, what's your follow-up process look like? I would want to know, how are you generating leads for your business? Are you just going into the marketplace and creating conversations and talking to people? Do you have different lead generation systems that you're using and you're duplicating through your team? I would ask, do you have a button? Do you have any type of advertising on your car? Do you do any type of direct mail? Do you do any type of social media promotions? Because once you have your systems in place, it all comes down to just lead generation. I mean, that's the game. Once you have your play one, play two, you have your systems in place, you know what you're going to do in your follow-up with your customers in first month, second month, third month, expose them to the business. Once it's systemized, then it just comes down to lead generation. Lead generation. So what are you doing? I would ask you, what is your retention system? And I wish I can remember the address. I think it's MLMretention.com. It might be, I think it's MLMretention.com. Check that out, MLMretention.com. I think that's it. I really don't know. I'll try to put it in the show notes for you guys who are listening. I'm talking back and forth between to you guys and Cecilia. When you are spending your educational time, how much educational time are you spending a week? A week right now, Cecilia. And what is that? What does that look like? Is that reading? Is it listening to podcasts? Is it being on company webinars? Where are you spending your educational time? That would be very important for me to kind of get a grasp of, because no matter, nothing matters probably for you right now. There's not any webinar, podcast, anything you can listen to right now. My guess, and I don't know this, but there's probably nothing that matters more that will move your business forward long term than the refinement of your systems, the refinement of your retail process, your two-step recruiting process. The refinement of those systems is probably the most important thing you can do. While I'm thinking about it, MLMhelp.com, I think it's MLMhelp, might be DaleCalvert.com. MLMhelp.com, let's go with that, /core, core. C-O-R-E, or I know you can go to MLMhelp.com and in the search box type in the 5 core systems to developing a network marketing team. That will be very beneficial probably for you. I mean, for all I know, you're a long-time podcast listener. You got your systems in place and you just need help with lead generation. Again, I really don't know until we talk. But, and as for those of you listening to the podcast, the same thing. You know, I do know that everything that we're talking about is critical if you're going to go from 16,000 to 160,000. I can promise you that, but I don't know where you are. But I think understanding the basic core fundamental systems and mastering them are two different issues. A lot of people understand them. The industry's full of people that understand them, but have never mastered them or implemented them because they're spending too much time trying to find the new foo-foo dust, the new marketing hack, the new way that nobody else knows about yet that's going to add thousands of people to their organization this year. And again, that's been the process for 20 years. It's fascinating. Most people do understand the basics, but it's just really focusing, learning, mastering so you can teach them and make sure that when your people do after their launch that they have multiple ways to generate leads and everything that we've talked about throughout all these podcasts at MLMsuccess.com. So the next thing I would talk about, I want to know that once you refine these and you have them down and you're being productive and they're working for you and they're helping you create new customers and they're helping you create new team members, then are you willing to just really focus in on refining and teaching and mastering those and not diluting what you've learned with a bunch of other stuff that will not do anything but confuse you? Because a lot of people they find it, they find the map, and then they're constantly trying to find shortcuts within the map. And I'm just going to share an example with you, and we'll jump off. But I was talking with a client last night, and major recruiting, doing really well. And he's talking about he spent 3 or 4 hours that day going through all these different network marketing teachers, trainers, gurus, and studying closing concepts. And he's telling me about this great idea, and then they say this, and he's fired up. And I said, look, once you know the best closing concept, method, flow, system, why would you spend 1 ounce of energy trying to find another one? And I could say this for any aspect of the business you want to talk about. There is always a best way. And see, I know that's politically incorrect probably to say that, but there is always a best way based upon your personality and your product line and your opportunity and the market in which we're working in. Because the market today is different than it was 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. The market is different. There's no question. The world's different. But the real product is people. It always has been, and it always will be. And this guy had recruiting records a couple of months ago, doing exactly what we talked about. And the company that he's working with has a holding tank system where once he recruits somebody, they don't have to be placed in an organization for 30 days. And he was absolutely killing it, doing exactly what we shared with him. And now, 2 months down the road, he's spending 4 total unnecessary wasted hours listening to gurus teach closing. And I said, look, here is the best close you can use in your particular business where you are. You get them through your play 1, which he's having no problem doing. You get him to the play 2. Sometimes they look at it, sometimes they haven't. He's following up on play 2, and sometimes they look at it, and then after they look at it, it's like, yeah, I'm getting ready to join. Yeah, I'm going to join, but they never get around to it. And I said, look, it's real simple. Here's your close. What were you doing 2 months ago that you're not doing now? Your close is real simple. Mary Jo, you said you were going to join me. I haven't heard. You haven't joined. I've got 3 people that I'm getting ready to place on somebody's team. Is it going to be yours or is it going to be somebody else's? Just call me and tell me you're not interested so I can go ahead and scratch you off my list for now. There is nothing that gentleman can do that is more powerful to knock people off the fence. Nothing. It's the best thing he can do. Period. It's the best way for him to get people off the fence and on his team. And he's already proved it because he was setting recruiting records 2 months ago by doing it. And I just say that to say this. There is a best way. There is a best way. There is a way that is psychologically congruent to the way human beings think and based upon your product, your opportunity, and the market today. Fear of loss will always be the number one motivator to man. That's why you see so many gurus and so many using false scarcity and just manipulating the masses with fear. I can't stand it. But it's like if you really think this person has upside potential and you would like to have them on your team, then sometimes you just have to help people get off the fence on one side or the other, and it doesn't matter. And I didn't mean this to turn into a whole session about, how to maximize and knock people off the fence, but that was just an example because, again, I had this conversation. Actually, it was about 2 o'clock this morning. I think they were in another time zone, obviously. So to get from 16,000 to 60,000 to 160,000, it's real simple. You got to have the work ethic. You got to be willing to go through the numbers. If you aren't, it's never going to happen. There ain't no foo-foo dust that's going to be sprinkled on you, and you're going to make 160,000 in 3 or 5 years. But you can refine your system. You can refine what you're doing. You can take your leadership, your training, your direction of your people. You can take everything to a different level. If you continue to do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got. That's the definition of insanity according to Einstein. So what I'm excited about, the people that are listening and relating, you're not just gathering information and doing nothing with it. Cecilia has obviously gone to work. And that's the first step. And again, if you are in a situation, and there's so many people, they've been around this profession 3, 4, 5, 6 years, to their own self be true. There's too many people that have business cards and like hanging out with the network marketing crowd better than the ladies at choir practice, and think that they're building a business and they're not taking action consistently. They're not taking action consistently daily. And they're delusional. Knowledge without action leads to self-delusion. And I'm sure some of you, I'm just hit the nail right on the head. For you, get real with yourself. We have several podcast sessions where we talk about fear and overcoming fear and what are you going to do with the fear. Go to MLMsuccess.com, MLMsuccess.com. Click on the podcast button and look for sessions regarding fear and overcoming obstacles and breaking barriers, because it's a mental game, guys. This business is built between your ears. It really is. It really is. It's like, what are you going to do with the fear? That's not most of you that are listening. Most of you are listening. You relate with Cecilia and how I take it to the next level, and that's becoming a better leader. It's becoming a better leader. It's hard for me without communicating one-on-one to really get a feel for what's going to move you forward right now, what's the most important thing. But I think if you go back and listen to what we've shared with you in this episode, you'll be able to identify kind of where you are and what you really need to focus on. Get rid of all the other distractions and fluff and figure out right now, this is what I've got to do. I've got to refine my customer acquisition onboarding. That's what I have to do, because I can get the customers, or at least I can find one-time buyers. But how do I refine that and figure out what you need to do, guys? You know what you need to do to move your business forward. The problem is, I believe subconsciously everybody thinks that there's something that everybody else knows that they don't know, and there's got to be some foo-foo dust, and it shouldn't have to be this emotional and this hard and take this much time to have to follow up with everybody. They bought it once, they should be a lifetime customer. And people kind of feel that way. It's not the way it is. They buy once, they're a suspect, twice they're a prospect, 3 times they're a customer. It's all on you. It's all on you. You're not good enough yet. Don't press around like you're somebody that you're not. Act like you're a leader that you're not. Become what you know you can be. Become what you know you can be. Oh, but Dale, I got this title, Yeah, but you're making $16,000 a year. You with me? I'm not trying to upset you guys, but I do believe in jarring people into reality, especially in the network marketing business model today. You guys have a great week, month, wherever. Have a great week. Have a great month. Heading to Kentucky, going to watch my grandson play a few baseball games. Hope you guys have a phenomenal week. I appreciate all of you that are such great supporters of this podcast. Thanks for sharing different episodes with different people on your team and sidelines and uplines that A lot of people come into this podcast and they're telling me, my upline, my sideline, somebody I met at a convention told me about it. I so appreciate that. You guys have an awesome week, and I'll talk to you next week on another session of the MLMsuccess.com podcast.
If you haven't gone over to iTunes yet and rated and left this podcast a review, what are you waiting for? At Calvert Marketing Group, we want to spend our time on the projects that we know are providing the most value for our clients and customers. You leaving us a review and feedback on iTunes is something that helps us more than you realize. And more importantly, it helps others like you find us. So if you've not taken the time to rate this podcast, please go over to iTunes and do that for us now. It will only take a couple of minutes out of your busy schedule. Work harder on yourself than you do on your business, and we will be back next week with another inspiring success story, wisdom of the ages training, or answers to your questions.